Princess Diaries Style Analysis. Disney's The Princess Diaries is based on the book series by Meg Cabot and starred Anne Hathaway and Julie Andrews. I'll be combining Princess Diaries and The Princess Diaries 2 The Royal Engagement to give an overview of character style development. I find this movie never gets old and I can rewatch it so many times and still be so invested. Like Princess Diaries 3, where are you?
There is a script for the third movie.
In the first movie, we're introduced to Mia, a clumsy, shy teen who discovers that she is the Princess of Genovia, a small European state.
Me? A princess? Shut up!
She then has a makeover and princess lessons with the help of her grandma to become fit for her new role as the Princess of Genovia. In The Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement, Princess Mia faces a new dilemma when her coronation is stopped by Viscount Maybury, who reminds Parliament of the law that states an unmarried woman cannot be made queen. The costume designer for both films was Gary Jones. He planned 50 outfits for Mia in the second film. I would analyse Joe's outfits, but Lily was on it from the start.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. You know, you look like Shaft.
Yes.
Lilly Moscovitz. Lily is Mia's best friend. She is portrayed as brave and never lets anyone push her around. She knows her insensitivity and forceful personality can cause her to be disliked.
I told you, I need an attitude adjustment.
However, Lily's blunt attitude is often what keeps Mia from overanalyzing things. She is portrayed as intelligent, confident, and socially conscious. She even has a talk show called Shut Up and Listen where she discusses political and social issues. Am I the only one that really disliked Lily at the start? She was such a toxic friend, but then had a massive change in the second film, going from the friend you need to get rid of to the friend that you need around. In the first movie, Princess Diaries, we mainly see Lily in school uniform. You can tell Lily wants to express herself as she adds and adjusts her uniform to stand out, showing her unwillingness to conform. Lily's hair is always tied up in interesting and playful ways, often with colourful grips or hair pieces. Lana, the popular cheerleader, often has her hair down or gripped with butterfly clips in rows, which was a very fashionable style in the early 2000s, worn by many celebrities at the time. If we compare Lily to Lana, Lily always adds something else to her hair, showing she is confident and doesn't mind what others think of her. She doesn't care if she looks different to the popular girls who everyone else aspires to be. She wants to be unique and different to the people around her. Lily's hairstyles actually remind me a lot of Lizzie McGuire's hairstyles. Lily and Lizzie are similar in the fact that they're both honest teenage girls and stick up for their friends, or maybe it was just a 90s thing. Another way Lily expresses herself is through jewellery. She always has stacks of bracelets and chokers to add to her uniform. This style is very similar to Avril Lavigne, who wasn't popular at the time of making this film, but the rock chick look was starting to form as a rebellion to the girly looks people like Paris Hilton were wearing at the time. It's like the I'm not like other girls style, but 2K20 form. When we do see Lily out of school uniform on her talk show, she is wearing a very grunge-inspired outfit with her muscle tee, colourful hairpieces and layered jewellery. Lily's bag is often filled with badges, probably of her favourite bands and causes she believes in to promote to other people. She also brings in an animal bag, popular in the 90s as the cutesy look. It seems unusual for Lily to bring this in as no one else in the school is following this trend anymore, but Lily is on her own fashion journey and likes standing out, so this doesn't surprise me. I can also understand her hatred towards Mia for having one of those bags.
This bag. You have one of these bags?
Those are big things in a school uniformed school, coming from someone who grew up having to wear school uniform. People notice when you change your style or bag because it's the only thing that changes and it doesn't happen that often. Lily doesn't like fitting in and wants to stand out, so it might feel like her best friend has betrayed her by starting to fit in with the popular girls and making adjustments to fit in. But Lily does go about this in a very cruel way and ends up belittling Mia when she should have just been Mia's friend in that moment and tried to understand. It's also important to note that Mia hadn't told Lily she was a princess, so from Lily's side none of it made sense. Why was her best friend changing so dramatically all of a sudden? When she finally understands, she does lighten up and stands up for Mia when the girls are being nasty about her new hair.
Well, I think it rocks.
Lily's final look in The Princess Diaries shows her elegant side. Lily can dress appropriately for the occasion, but she isn't that comfortable.
Why didn't we dress like her? We look like idiots.
Lily wears a simple backless dress with minimal jewellery. This is a big change from her regular outfits and accessories, which could be why she feels so uncomfortable. While I personally think Lily would have added something extra to her outfit, her simple black outfit was probably a technique to make Lily more toned down compared to Mia, as Mia is the main character and the viewer is meant to admire Mia's dress and not spend too much time on the others. Princess Diaries Royal Engagement. Lily is out of school uniform and into clothes. Lily has a massive personality change in Princess Diaries 2, having matured over the years. She may have learned that sometimes she could be a bit too much. We can see through her clothes that Lilly still likes to stand out and have attention drawn towards her, but she might also stand out because she's only visiting, so probably brought her clothes from San Francisco, which isn't the same fashion as the royals and guests in Genovia. In the first film, the two girls wore mostly uniforms, so it's fun to see how their styles have developed without uniform constraints. Lilly looks completely different to Mia on most occasions. The only time she looks the same as Mia is when they're in comfy clothes, both showing their San Francisco roots. Lilly's colour palettes consist of deep colours like black, brown and red. This is why she looks so different to Mia, who is often in brighter colours. This signifies again that Lilly doesn't like to conform to the people around her. She will dress appropriately but will still stay true to herself. The pattern I found is Lilly often wears red in her outfits. The colour red is symbolic for confidence, courage and energy, which completely describes Lilly's personality. She wears pink on Mia's wedding because she respects Mia's wishes even if it's out of her comfort zone. She will adapt when necessary.
I'm a girl who loves black and is wearing pink.
Through costume design, it shows that Lilly doesn't fit into Mia's new life as a princess, but she's still able to be Mia's best friend, and that will never change.
Lilly Moscovitz, official best friend of future queen. I don't like you.
Lilly often wears her Berkeley's University tee when she wants to be comfortable, which is very relatable as I only wear my Leavers hoodie when I want to be comfortable. She repeats this outfit a few times, which highlights the fact that she's away from home and probably living out of her suitcase. She also loves a maxi skirt. She wears 3 on different occasions. This was a very popular style amongst young people in the 2000s, showing Lilly as more in line with youthful fashion compared to Mia, who wears midi skirts like her grandmother. Lilly doesn't have any protocol to follow and is able to wear the current trends. Lilly's once experimental hairstyles and layered jewellery has now completely toned down. She still wears jewellery but it's more minimal. This may be part of her maturing and her style having changed. Lilly wears a Worldwide Fund for Nature t-shirt, an organisation that works on the reduction of human impact on the environment, which shows that she's still as socially conscious as she was in school and passionate about making an impact on the world. Queen Clarisse, Renaldi. The Queen is Mia's grandmother. She is portrayed as gentle and kind while still honouring her duty as Queen. She's smart and loved by everyone. On a whole, she follows the rules and protocols, but on the rare occasion she breaks them if it's for the greater good. She also saw potential in Mia even when Mia didn't see it herself. Overall, the Queen's outfits don't have a significant change over the 2 movies. Her style stays the same, probably due to protocol, or maybe because she's older and found what style works for her.
Oh, I want one of these. No, just not this one.
Queen Clarisse starts Princess Diaries wearing black. In mourning of her son's recent death, she wears scarves to bring some interest into her outfits. One thing I love is that as soon as Joe says, "You've been wearing black far too long," the following scene she is back in colour, which shows early on Joe's influence on her and their hidden love for each other. Costume designer Gary Jones worked closely with Andrews while designing Clarisse's wardrobe, drawing inspiration from Chanel, Bill Blass and Christian Dior. These designers really shine through in everything Clarisse wears. She is often in different variations of suits, similar to the designer's collections. Her style is also very reflective of what members of the royal family wear out in public.
Can't wait to decorate.
Suits are a sign of power and authority, effortlessly creating well-dressed and neat looks, which is probably why it's the same choice for both royals and Queen Clarisse. Wearing suits to work is also common when you want to make a good impression and show everyone that you are worth their time. This may be why royalty dress so formally all the time. They are on duty when at public engagements and want to make a good impression. Suits also create a very expensive look, which reflects Clarisse's wealth and status.
Your Majesty, will you be visiting the White House? Your Highness, are you taking the princess home?
There are elements of current royal family rules we see Queen Clarisse implementing, such as skirts and dresses worn at an appropriate length around the knee, neutral nail colours, only wearing her crown at royal, formal events, wearing a headscarf instead of a hat or crown, wearing a hat on formal occasions, wearing thick materials to avoid wrinkles like tweed and wool, heels shouldn't be too high at 6 inches or under. These rules are followed by Queen Clarisse, especially in public, making her feel and look very royal. Queen Clarisse often wears muted colours or pastels. This could be a sign of her gentle and caring nature, as calming colours reflect those feelings of peace. When the Queen dresses down into comfortable clothes, she still wears elegant materials like silk, showing her expensive taste, and almost like her status stays with her no matter if she's behind closed doors. She wears cardigans in cotton or silk which create very elegant movements as she walks, which feels very upper class as it seems like she's never in a rush.
A queen is never late. Everyone else is simply early.
Of course.
The gown Queen Clarisse wears to the state dinner is a homage to Julie Andrews' stage role as My Fair Lady's Eliza Doolittle, which was handmade in China. This pastel blue gives off feelings of peace and gentleness, often a soft and romantic colour which describes her presence at the dinner. She keeps her cool and stays gentle even as Mia makes silly mistakes and causes a scene. Queen Clarisse's ball gown at the end of Princess Diaries follows similar silhouettes to some of Queen Elizabeth's banquet dresses. They both have the same V-neck and sleeve length, although Queen Clarisse has more of a puff skirt compared to Queen Elizabeth. They both create a statement, making sure people notice them. The dress is one colour and might again be a technique to make Mia's dress stand out more, as the focus should mainly be on Mia, the main character. Julie Andrews also wore $500,000 worth of diamonds on her jewellery and tiara in this scene. She had to have someone follow her around in case somebody tried to snatch it. In the second film, Princess Diaries Royal Engagement, we start the film with Clarisse wearing a very floaty shift dress, hanging loosely from her body without a fitted cut. The dress moves gracefully as she walks, which creates an image of glamour. The layers and jewels on the dress also show off her wealth and power, but don't take away from Mia, who stands out in her amazing dress. The last gown we see Clarisse in is at Mia's coronation. She again wears a lovely shift dress style, loosely hanging from her body. The dress and overcoat are in shades of gold, which spells elegance and class. The style yet again makes her movements look so effortless, showing her gentle and kind nature. The accents of red in her jewellery are small, unlike her crown she's passing to Mia. This could symbolise the movement of responsibility from Clarisse to Mia. The red elements left on Clarisse's jewellery show she will still support Mia and guide her if she needs help. Red can also symbolise happiness, showing Clarisse is happy and proud of Mia taking on the role of queen. There are of course elements of Queen Elizabeth's real coronation in 1953 that the film takes inspiration from, but we will explore those in more detail when talking about Mia's style. For Mia's wedding, Clarisse wears a suit very similar to one Lady Diana wore herself. They both have the same ruffles around the collar. Clarisse wears a longer version, but they still both have the smart, sophisticated finish. Clarisse's outfit is in a shade of greeny brown. Green can mean growth and new life, which really represents her and Joe finally getting married and starting their life together.
My Lord Archbishop, I would like to take this man as my husband, if you please.
Finally.
Mia Thermopolis is the main protagonist in Princess Diaries. She is smart and responsible, also portrayed as shy and awkward. Even when she finds out she's a princess and receives training, she remains clumsy. I think that's why we all fell in love with this movie. Mia stays clumsy even with her new title. Mia is known for her down-to-earth personality, though on occasion Mia shows herself to be quite sarcastic and sly. Once Mia learns of her true heritage, all eyes are on her. Adjusting to so much attention is tough, especially since she also has to be poised and conscientious. She goes from unnoticed to well known, which can be quite tough. Anne Hathaway wore a hairpiece for pre-makeover Mia to make her hair unruly, thick and bushy. They called it the Beast backstage because it was so hard to manage. It also took over an hour in the makeup chair to create Mia's thick, never been plucked eyebrows. Anne Hathaway even said it was very lonely when she went out in this costume.
For the first 2 days of filming, I was in awkward Mia hair and makeup and kind of stance, and all of the female extras just hated me. I would hear them talking behind my backs and saying, you know, why did she get the part? I'm so much better looking than her. And then the third day, I came in the post-makeover look, so my hair was done and my makeup was done, and people didn't recognize me, and it was interesting. But when we saw the way that people's reactions changed, Gary and I looked at each other and we said, yep, we have a movie here, this is good.
Gary Jones envisioned Mia as a character who was shy about her body at first, opting to dress her in layers consisting of long sleeves and loose-fitting clothing, which is exactly what we see her in out-of-school uniform. I know the Mia makeover sparks up some controversy and a lot of people were upset by the scene. I mean, it is a bit all over the place, brushing curly hair, breaking glasses. What were they thinking? Might have scared my curly hair, but I'll overlook it for the iconic movies. And I think we can admit that Mia does look great after her makeover.
Better. Much better.
After Mia's makeover, as well as looking different, she starts to style herself differently. It's also very interesting to note that Mia now looks more like the popular girls after her transformation. However, this doesn't even make her fit in. Lana still picks on Mia, showing no matter what Mia does, Lana will never like her. This is very true in real life. If you change something about yourself, it might even be a way for a bully to pick on you more. exactly what Lana does to Mia.
Look who's trying to fit in now. It's a wig, right?
Mia uses her grey bucket hat to draw less attention to herself. She went from invisible to the most known person in school, which is a hard adjustment. Her hat is almost used as protection. Mia's periwinkle gown for the state dinner is based on a dress worn by Princess Victoria of Sweden to the Nobel Prize Gala in 1997, with Jones describing it as a bow to the Renaissance and Romeo and Juliet, accessorizing it with an 18-carat diamond ring. She looks so elegant and wears blue just like her grandmother, which shows unity. The Queen is on Mia's side even if she makes mistakes.
Was that my fault?
After Mia changes from her wet look perfectly described by this reporter,
she's styling a wet, sort of grunge look hairdo and is wearing a sweatshirt, jeans, and Docs.
Mia transitions into her final dress, which is beautiful. She stands out from the crowd, from the patterned fabric down to her accessories. Her dress silhouette is a very typical princess puff dress. Her dress and gloves make her look like a princess, and she finally looks suited for her role. From this scene we can see that Mia has come a long way. She is now confident in her dress and her surroundings compared to her first royal event. This scene shows us that she has reached the goal. She is now an elegant princess. She even gets the perfect pop kiss. Mia's tiara was custom made, but quite a lot cheaper than Queen Clarisse's. In place of diamonds, her crown was decked out in cubic zirconia. When we see Mia arriving in Genovia, she is in a suit similar to one of her grandmother's, showing that she is fully adapting to her new role as princess. Even Fat Louis is adjusting with his miniature crown. In the second film, Princess Diaries Royal Engagement, Mia has a massive style change. She is now in very royal inspired outfits, always looking elegant and put together like her grandmother. She still has elements of her past San Francisco style, but only when she's relaxing or off duty. Her style has changed, probably due to being in a different country and now having to follow protocol. The red ball gown Mia wears for her 27th birthday takes inspiration from Audrey Hepburn's red dress from the movie Funny Face. The red colour makes Mia stand out, but she still has her quirky side as we see her fling some jewellery that was caught by the doorman. In this first scene from the second film, we can see that Mia is still a clumsy character, which may be a nod to her past self in the first film. Mia's pink look is my favourite. It reminds me a lot of Jackie Kennedy's pink Chanel-inspired suit. Modern Girls has just done an amazing video with specific details on the co-ord and its significance and how it's carried on influencing fashion today. I have a link in my description because it's really worth a watch. The colour of Mia's co-ord has the same texture and colour of Kennedy's suit. Different silhouettes, but it definitely feels the same. This also shows how Mia's style reflects her status now. She dresses like her grandmother, other royals and public figures. Her wardrobe reflects her step up in status.
We just made the bed.
Mia wears pink when she's out on royal occasions. The colour makes her stand out and looks very elegant. The colour pink shows compassion and understanding as well as gentle and loving. This very much describes Mia and what kind of monarch she would be. When Mia is in comfortable clothes, she looks similar to her best friend Lilly. She is back in red colours. She dresses in suits in public, but behind closed doors she's just regular Mia from San Francisco, wearing jeans. Although sometimes even her comfy style has adjusted to more of something young royals would be wearing for comfort, like jeans and a shirt, instead of t-shirt. Mia also always seems to be on show when she's with Andrew. She never seems to be in her comfortable San Francisco clothes around him, which we know is what she wears when she's comfortable, whereas when she grows close to Nicholas, he sees her in her comfortable clothes. One interesting clothing detail I noticed was when Mia is practicing archery. Nicholas comes by and Lily takes Mia's fiancé away so Mia can talk to Nicholas. Mia is dressed in blue like Nicholas, whereas Andrew is wearing something different. This subtle detail helps us subconsciously pair Mia and Nicholas together because they go well together, whereas because Andrew doesn't look similar to Mia, it feels wrong and like it's not meant to be. Mia's wedding dress looks exactly like Princess Claire of Belgium's wedding dress in 2003. The lace detailings create such a beautiful silhouette. The style of wedding dress has remained a classic, even Kate wore something similar to her wedding. One thing, however, I will never understand is why Pablo was experimenting with hairstyles on the morning of the wedding.
I look like a moose.
Yes, but a very cute moose. Make all the boy moose go, wah!
Mia's coronation outfit is very much inspired by Queen Elizabeth's coronation gown. The rich detailings and layers are taken from the Queen's dress, even down to holding an orb and scepter. The ending is so powerful. As a viewer, we've seen Mia transform into a confident young woman who knows how to run her country. Which outfit was your favourite from the two movies? I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope to see you soon. Bye!